Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's session. My name is Mark Orina. I'm part of the UG organizing group. I'm really excited to have you guys here today. Hope you've had an amazing week. And for this week, we'll be having the amazing Edna Mugo, a machine learning engineer and software engineer from Jacaranda Health. And she mostly focuses on LLMs and natural language processing models in maternal health, which I'm really interested to hear more about that. And for today, she'll be taking us through building production RAG systems with AWS Bedrock and knowledge bases. I don't know if any of you have used Bedrock before, but it's a really amazing product. I've used it a bit, but never used it in that production sense. So really excited to see what she's about. Beyond that, also at the end, we'll have some announcements. I know there's the AWS Student Community Day happening in Meru and also another event happening at MKU. So stay tuned for that. Then we can be able to kind of just tap in and see if we can meet physically. Beyond that, hope your week has been amazing. And yeah, I think that's that. Edna, I don't know if you're there. Can you hear me? Let me stop sharing my screen.
Hi, Matt. Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. Yes. The floor is yours. You can be able to start presenting. And also, if you can click record on your end also, just to have a backup, that would be great. Yeah.
I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, Crystal, can hear.
Great. This is when the share my screen.
Okay. Okay.
Hi, Matt. I'm unable to record on my end, but I'll try
Fine.
to use an external service to record.
All right, it's fine.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I am Edna Mugo, a software developer at Jacaranda Health, and also machine learning engineer. Where we deal with maternal health services and majorly on the natural language processing. So today I'll be presenting more or less Amazon Bedrock, just to show you how you can use Amazon Bedrock just to create a RAG system and using its knowledge base. I hope you can see my screen. Just do this. Okay, great. So building RAG systems with Amazon Bedrock, and definitely when working with LLMs, we need to implement guardrails to ensure security and of the LLM service. So a case study will just be using a family planning QA system with the maternal healthcare domain, and I'll also showcase maybe as a demo. Great. So the agenda will be basically a production RAG gap where some demos may fail in production and what it takes to bridge that gap using the Amazon Bedrock architecture, which it's one of the services that AWS provide it for us. Then having the family planning QA demo, just showcasing like the whole like retrieval aspect, and also having a setup of the Amazon Bedrock guardrails where you are able to see we can filter some topics out of maybe the QA so that we can have some level of control of what our AI produces or give outputs to the end users in production. Yeah, so basically that. So this is what I'll be presenting. It's more of a laptop demo. It's not fully to production, but you can showcase, you can add like some of these features. So having like maybe a knowledge base with chunking, you need to add the IAM roles, that is the AWS roles on the security, have guardrails to ensure that you don't have like maybe any hallucinations within your production, because I was just doing this for the demo, and also add metrics and alerts. Also, CloudWatch is also an AWS service, so you can always add metrics and alerts for your ML projects or RAG systems within AWS, and have like maybe multilingual support and also session support on the same. So on an overview, of which AWS provides a very good documentation on how to use the Amazon Bedrock like step by step. So we have services which will be used within the whole entire pipeline that include the data sources, including maybe the S3 buckets where you'll store your PDFs, documents, or HTML. For this case, if you're not using web search service on the Amazon Bedrock. Then you have the Bedrock knowledge base, which basically will be helping in doing the auto chunking and embedding via several models that in this case I tried out with Titan. So for the chunking, basically it's part of what you do in a RAG system, because a RAG system, it's where you generate, you're able to get information from a big, huge document, and able to get like the actual best response maybe to a given question or something. So the chunking will help it easy for the RAG system to be able to know the best or the appropriate response for that in an easier way. Then we have the vector store, which is more or less the vector database for a RAG system. In this case, I'll be using the OpenSearch serverless, which is also a service on Amazon AWS for storing the chunks, and also all the vectors for the PDFs for easy retrieval. Then you have the guardrails. Basically, that is more or less for content filters and also topic blocks. So, like in this case, if you want to have a guardrail on, probably if somebody wants to ask a question about theft or maybe stealing or abortion, that can be filtered from your end application, and you're able just to give information on what content you want to have. So you have more or less control on the application accordingly. Then now we have the inference or response generation. So in this case, now this is the background model that you're using for inference, getting like the response and inferencing like our whole architecture. So we have cloud, we have Titan, which is also a model on AWS, on the Amazon AWS. So these are all managed under the Amazon Bedrock. So for scaling, you might need to check like what features you're adding, like if it's more or less like for the chunking, you need to know like what is the maximum tokens you give for the chunks and all that for our production service. So I'll do like a small demo, then take like you on how you can do like the implementation on the same. So in this case, like I just added like maybe you have a family planning handbook, maybe Kenya national guidelines, and maybe the contraceptive fact methods, and you have like a system just to showcase how you can do like the RAG end to end, and showcase where the sources of that document was, or the source of the retrieval of that answer is at. Yeah. So let me just. Yeah. So I have like just a small demo of basically whatever I had in the screenshot of the PowerPoint. where you can have something like you already have like a maternal family planning QA rag system, and if you ask a question like either so for this case, it just showcase like how you will get a response, and maybe whichever source it used to get possibly your response. So let's say um, uh, this is just a showcase of probably a topic that you need to append on the um, you need to append on the guardrails. Like you need to figure out and filter like for the guardrails on the same. So that's just a QA on the same. I also created like a setup guide on how to do this, but I'll just showcase that with a more manual way setup on the same. So yeah. So you have like the Amazon console and go to the like Amazon Bedrock, where currently we have like um all access to the just a second to all the models. Mm. Yeah. So you have to enable model access, of which currently most of the access to all the models are viable for the users. It's only the cloud and yeah, it's only the cloud that you need to append a use case of what you need to use it for, so that you can use it in your infrastructure. Um, so once you enable the model, you can now, for this case, we'll be creating it using the S3 bucket for our source of documents. So you remember, like for the RAG infrastructure, you need to have documents where you're referencing your information. So for this case, we might be using the Amazon S3 buckets, where we'll do an upload of the documents that we need the for the RAG infrastructure or for referencing for our documents. So I'm sure you have interacted with the Amazon S3. Yeah. So once that is done, we now go ahead to create like our knowledge base, where the knowledge base is basically what will be linking with the Amazon S3 buckets. But now this is an infra that is within the Amazon Bedrock that help us to link with the external S3 buckets that can also be linked with different um, different sources essentially. But for this case, maybe you're using the Amazon S3 buckets. So yeah, let me just then after that you do like the sync of documents and the retrieval of the documents accordingly. So let me just go here. We have the Amazon Bedrock. You go to the model access, which should give you like you have permission to use either of the models accordingly. So we have our model catalog that will showcase the we showcase the available models basically, and for this case, in case you go to um, if you showcase the cloud, you need basically to do like some summation of maybe the use details. But yeah, so from there we have like the different bits. You can use them as on Bedrock on essentially different services, where we have like if it's agents, knowledge bases, but for this case, we'll have like a setup on the knowledge base. So so you need to just showcase on an overview, like on search, where you need to create a knowledge base of whatever is needed for your system. Then we have different data sources, like for instance, if you're connecting to the Amazon S3 buckets, whether you're using a web crawler to be able to extract content from maybe the public web pages that are authorized, or any other service, but the mostly that is available is Amazon, and maybe just a custom data set to use schedule your you schedule like your service or your source accordingly. So I'll just to slide them. I'm hoping okay. To require a service. So you select your bucket that maybe, oh, I had created some buckets earlier. So had created a bucket as it is and added like the different handbooks accordingly. So I'll just go back to these. I can set the chunking to a given fixed step, so you have control of how you'd want to do the chunking and how accurate you want your documents to be, or the retrieval process to be. You need to select the middle that you want to use for this case. Yes. Okay, so as it creates, I can get back to this. Yeah, so once you have like maybe you've created your whole like knowledge database, you can proceed with now the process of getting like your knowledge databases and having these tests like within like tooling. You can set up like a program and do the testing within the Amazon. So you test like the different services and run like the questions of what you want to see, how it does the retrieval and everything. Then you have a step of creating a Bedrock guardrail, where essentially guardrails are, it's just more or less like your safety layer. So with this console, it helps you to configure or filter some contents, because at the end of the day, you don't want to share information that as a company that it's not appropriate to the end users. So you need to set up guardrails. That is basically for all LLM services. So setting up the guardrails, basically it's just pretty much straightforward, where you have the guardrails within the AWS and now do like a small setup on the same. Then you can filter based on content. You can filter based on you can have like a whole like safety of how you're filtering you're filtering like your content within the infrastructure. If we go back to the demo, just a second, I think I had it. If you go back to the demo, you can always set like your guardrails to given levels of severity, so that it can just maybe clear out in case of such a content is available or is already seen in your content, or maybe you can set maybe your level of severity to different levels. So yeah, so you can have the content filters to set that is either high, medium, or depending on how you want, and also depending on the different topics that you want to set the level of severity. So like for instance, in this case, you can ensure that maybe you set like maybe you want to filter out abortion, you want to filter out some specific drug use, you want to filter out maybe just depending on what your use case will be. Yeah, depending on what your use case will be, you'll have like maybe the topics that you need to filter out on that. Then you can also have like anonymation of some factors, like let's say you want to have, you're dealing maybe with clients where you deal with maybe the users' phone numbers, emails, and uh, identification number. So you need to have like the personal information made anonymized and filter out any sensitive information on the same. Then you can also set up some grounding or reject hallucination. So in this case, it's where you need to ensure that you set the level of hallucination like lower, have a threshold where you can ensure that you want the model to be as accurate as it can and lower the risk of hallucination. Because for instance, if someone asks a question about maybe a given like for this model was family planning, maybe ask about copper, and if it hallucinates, it can give you like a different aspects. So you need to have like a grounding threshold of what you want on the same case. Then after that, you can do basically attach like your it to the Bedrock playground, test it out, and also you can set it now to production and see how that works out. So everything else will be like more or less customized within your application and setup. So okay. So I guess I've talked on these where the Amazon Bedrock Guardrails will just help you to have like responsible AI control for sensitive healthcare domains. That is content filters, where you block harmful or variant contents, restrict explicit medical information, and also you can always set your threshold to the different levels. Then you have like it can be either the topic denial, where you check on various topics that you need to do. Also have personal information reduction. That is, you're able to mask the phone numbers, IDs, mask numbers, and also like the audit trails for compliance. And also have some ground checking where you need to do like verification or maybe some knowledge source match, where you can always set up um, testing with the models, where you have like LLM as a judge, where it will be able to verify the source of information, able to maybe reject any hallucinated citation, or also have some confidence thresholds maybe configured within the infrastructure. So so for the implementation of the guardrails, set up like how you can set the guardrails. I think I'll share the PowerPoint and bit of the PDF for the setup in case you want to try that out. So you will set up like basically it needs the security, the client and everything. So we have like the different NLP challenges basically. Let's say like for case in while deploying like in maternal health care, where in our instance, maybe we are dealing with multilingual complexity, and while like using even the Amazon Bedrock and the agents there that can help on the same. So we have like, for instance, you need to do like Swahili English code switching. Maybe some queries can either be in Swahili, others in English. So there's that standard embedding semantic nuance where the solution is fine-tuned to multilingual, like for this case when you're using the Titan embeddings, so plus the Swahili test suite for that case. Then we have like domain vocabulary gap, where mostly while deploying the models, you can actually even integrate an external model that maybe you've created separately and append it to the Amazon Bedrock, which it has the capacity to accept that. So we have like different medical accuracy acronyms that might be underrepresented, and maybe that might not be also in reflective with maybe your RAG infrastructure, maybe within your documents or knowledge based sources. So that is something also to check on. Then we have like let's say low literacy query patterns, where you have someone will either ask a question in a broad aspect, and some will ask maybe just short queries. So which might require like intent expansion, basically like where you have a solution query for a rating step before the retrieval or lightweight reranker. So you need to have you set up your RAG infrastructure to be able to cater for any ambiguous queries within the structure. Then we have some aspects maybe in the NLP, like where you face hallucinations, basically, which is you have, let's say you're doing like you set up a diagnosis, of which mostly we haven't yet gotten there to have like an LLM that will be accurate to the, send like diagnostic information. But let's say for this case, you're doing a family plan aspect, you need to maybe have some ground checks. You need to have some validation of your information, have like maybe some mandatory source of citation, that is even having a verification that will go back not directly to the user, but maybe even having human in the loop, where they are able to flag some information within whatever has been displayed by the system. So okay, so just get back. I'm not sure why this time it failed to create. It's I retried that again. might try a different model, but now let me just retrieve this. Then I can showcase. Okay, the Amazon, they have a very good documentation that actually you can use and try it out with the different challenges and also the different lessons that you can use on the infrastructure, how to do like a whole end-to-end, choosing the right model, building the application within it, doing the optimization for production, basically, because whatever model that you choose or whatever model that you choose, how you implement it will also determine on cost. The good thing is that it's an on-demand use. Then we have like a complete user experience. So feel free to just check the Amazon Bedrock demonstration on how to do like the whole end-to-end structure. So let me just share this on the link, but I think it's Um, yeah, so maybe some of the key takeaways. Currently, at Jacaranda Health, we are exploring the agents. We have built our own like custom model and now trying out to expand like to the different agents. So uh, yeah. So, but for the case demo that I've explored, it's basically we have like you need to like do like a whole setup of the optional within the healthcare, depending on what you want to build. For the if it's a rug system or if you're exploring for the agent side, you need to know like how to implement it. Like it help us the knowledge bases eliminate like 80% of like rug hallucinations and everything, and it also help us build like a rug system easily compared to if you're building from scratch the whole rug system. And also it helps to support some of the aspects like multilingual low literacy users, and also there's like no need of rewriting your questions just to for the model to understand. So it gives the capability of having not having to like do the whole process of translation and everything, so that as you're doing like your rag system, and this is all embedded within like the Amazon Bedrock agents and systems. So you should always have human in the loop, especially if you're dealing with critical aspects where once you can be able to have like human to evaluate the responses given for the different users and help them to improve the model, help them to like update like maybe your infrastructure to have like a more accurate information. So the models will not like necessarily replace the humans, but it will help in augmenting like what they do on a daily basis. So I'll pause there for questions. I guess I'll just showcase the web and maybe try out on your end on how to build the whole infra.
Thank you, Edna. Let me see if there are any questions. Actually, I have a question about the guardrails. Since you already you gave the model, or your information is from AWS S3, and you've already kind of filtered out anything, what? Anything controversial, anything that you do not want. Why do you still need to have guardrails still in place, even though that the source of information is already filtered, it's already kind of appropriate? Why do you have to kind of have set that up?
Okay, so currently you're using also external models for they are the ones who will set up like maybe with chunking and everything. And like for instance, if you go to cloud, it has some information. Well, they have also set up their own guardrails, but if you don't want like external information to be sent out to maybe your specific user application, you need to set up additional security feature for your application. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else who has a question before I continue? Okay, my other question, or actually one of the questions here I'm seeing someone has DM'd me is, in terms of the tokens, I think there's a place where you're putting in it was like a context window, but where you put in the tokens, the number of, I'm forgetting that specific place, but where you put in, yes, yes. Can I just explain more about that and how do you calibrate it? Maybe, I think you put 500 and stuff like that. You can just explain more how that looked like, yeah.
Okay, great question. So in a RAG infrastructure system, you need to ensure that you are able to break down the documents and pass like this information to the models. So the lower the number of chunks, the more the model is able to maybe go through like your whole document and be able to find where specific information can be. All this is the chunks are also like in a vector database where it will be able to process like given information or maybe a given query by the different chunking that it has. So for a more precise, okay, the how I can explain it, like for more precise information, maybe the moderate number of chunking can help in that. But also it's more or less a matter of also testing out because you know like how your document looks like. And if I use like for instance a whole PDF and maybe in the whole like a whole paragraph, maybe like 2 or 3 lines are important for the model to understand the concept of what that paragraph is saying. So you can always like set that to it. So basically it's more on the RAG infrastructure where you modify like how you want to do the chunking of your document for it to be more specific for the models to be able to identify a specific response for a question.
The other question is, will you be able to share part of the question? So someone is DMing me part of the presentation that you have, and is whatever you've built somewhere already on a blog or something like that.
Yes, I will share that with you. Maybe you can share in the group. Yeah.
Okay, great. What is the other question? What other question am I seeing? You can just put them on the chat, but I'm seeing people have DM'd me. So for this one, so Amazon Titan, does it only support, is it English only? Because it's a text embedding, whatever. Does it only support English? So essentially this system is only just English based, nothing Kiswahili or anything like that, yeah? Dennis has asked, yeah.
No, Titan it's multilingual. Like it support like the different languages. But for this case, my source documents are basic. Let me just. So mostly that's why I was asking it in English, but it does support like the multimodal. Just a second. Yeah, so for this case, it was basically supporting like mostly the English version, but it can always support any other language depending on your source document.
Okay, last question also from Dennis. You could unmute and ask actually, but anyway, it's fine. So the other part, the question is, what are the surprises? As you know, there is maybe you've put an EKS cluster, it goes over budget and stuff like that. Beyond that, what other things should you put in just to not having surprises in terms of costs and stuff like that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. So in terms of LLMs, in general, it's expensive because
Hey guys, can you guys hear me? I don't know if I've lost our money, maybe that young women, but yeah. I think we've lost her. Okay. Let's give her a few minutes then. Can join. Today my camera is 0 pixels. Hopefully you guys can still see me, but it could nearly 0 pixels. Beyond that, yeah, we lost Edna. Yeah, thanks, Nash. Let's see if she'll come. As we do that also, you don't have to laugh. Yeah, I know my camera today is not there. Kabisa, mwezi niona. But beyond that also, I know there's a student community event happening on 28th at Meru, and also there's one at MKU. Veliso is around, and Gitonga, I think, is also around. I don't know if anyone has information around that. I don't know if they can share. Let me find it, yeah. But I know there are two events happening that I'd love. I think, guys, if you can make it, please do. But let me try and find them here. Anyone has the information on them? Because this laptop is definitely not working for me today. Let me find it as we wait. Edna, are you back?
hello, can you hear me? Sorry, lost power.
Yeah, we lost you there for a minute.
Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah, so I was saying like LLM in general, the expensive because essentially if you use like the not open source, like the likes of cloud ChatGPT, they are basically calculated on token on the number of tokens and the output. So let's say for this case, the larger your documents are, the harder it will be for the LLM to retrieve. So it will need like a lot of maybe several number of chunking and different overlaps that you'll do on your documentation. So for this case, you can always like ensure maybe you have the specific documents that maybe you need maybe for your RAG infrastructure. Ensure you're using like you can always monitor and see if you reduce the lower number of chunks, what level of accuracy is it at, just to see like just trying the mitigation factors that you can do to optimize your LLM while using the least costs as possible.
Okay, thank you. If anyone else has a question, you can ask. But I think I've asked most of the questions that had been given me in the DMs. Beyond that, I had two announcements I wanted to make. Let me see if I can find them. We have two events happening next week, and I want to just make an announcement around them. Yes, perfect. Imepata. So I'll share my screen. Then, if you're around, you can take them. You can attend. If you're not, still fine. So one of the events. Oh goodness, did I just lose it? Let me just do that again. This one. I know Veliswa will be around from next week, I believe, and she'll be attending a few events in Kenya. And yeah, I think it would be amazing to have you guys on board, especially if you're in Eldoret. There's one in Eldoret, and there's another one in MKU, if I'm not wrong. Anyway, this is the one I have right now. So there's an event happening in Eldoret specifically, Once Upon an Agentic AI, a developer's epic journey, and Velisol will be there, Tiffany and Murithi Gitonga will be there and spending time with the student community. So this will be really amazing to have. I think, let me see. So if you want to be part of it, please do register if you know people who are in Eldoret doing it. Please just be part of it. AWS and ALX. So this would be really amazing for you guys. Let me just share it here. If you have friends, especially in Eldoret, share it with them. I think this would be amazing for them to just meet Veliswa and also be part of the community. The other events coming up, I just am not seeing them on my end, but yeah, be part of it. Just to close up, we'll upload this on YouTube and also have some of the documentation that Edna has shared to be able to just kind of go through it and actually build it. I'm actually going to try and build this whole system, especially for health. I think that's an interesting angle to look at it, and it's very timely. So thank you very much, Edna. Thank you for everybody for coming in. Short notice and also just being part of it. I really loved this event. Any last words, Edna? Then we can kind of call it a day. Where can people find you and stuff like that? Yeah, that'd be good.
Great. So you can find me on LinkedIn on Mugo Edna, basically, and always happy to reach out there in case you have any questions on the machine learning side, on maybe implementation to the AWS to deployment. That is anything. Yeah. Thank you. Back to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Edna. This was really amazing. I love the step-by-step demonstration. We want more of this and we'd love to have you again another time. Yes, Kevin, I will definitely share it as soon as I can. Anyone who's not joined the group, let me share that. Then I think we can call it a day. There's a WhatsApp group where we'll share it. Thank you. Okay, Brian, there you go. Let me just share the WhatsApp group for AWS User Group Kenya, then we can call it a day. But thank you very much, guys, for coming through and yeah, just being part of this event. Let me get the invite. We also have not YouTube. We have YouTube actually, but we also have Instagram. So you can also find us on Instagram. There we go. I'll share it there. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. Have a lovely rest of your Saturday. Thank you for coming through, Edna. Amazing stuff. Definitely looking forward to hosting you again. Bye, guys.